Great news, everybody. Lawmakers have finally started responding to the petition for $2,000 stimulus checks for everybody that is eligible for them. Democrats in the House of Representatives have decided to move forward with this new stimulus proposal. And the IRS has also just announced that many Americans are set to receive a surprise bonus check this tax season. So you want to be sure to stay until the end of this video to find out the most important stimulus check and Social Security information. You guys definitely don't want to miss out on this, everybody. But according to the IRS, taxpayers face major delays for their federal income tax refunds when they incorrectly claim their recovery rate credit on a 2021 return, after they already received the full amount of the third economic impact payment that was issued last year. The IRS is seeking mistakes in claiming the recovery rebate credit and warns taxpayers that it could take several weeks to resolve some issues. However, everybody, it's important to know that the IRS is not sending out more stimulus money now automatically if you missed out last year. If you qualify, the only way to get the money is to claim the recovery rebate credit by filing a 2021 return. Now here is the list who might want to give the recovery rebate credit a second look just to be sure that you qualify for this check. Now, the IRS put a notice on its website in late January that confirmed that parents of a child born in 2021 did not receive a third stimulus payment for a newborn. Now, you may be eligible to receive up to $1,400 for the child born last year or welcomed through adoption or foster care. The recovery rebate credit also can apply if an adult became a qualifying relative in 2021 and was not a qualifying relative in 2019 or 2020. Parents also should pay attention to the rules for claiming the child tax credit, which could further fatten a refund and be worth up to $3,600 per child. Now, remember, all households did not get the same payment, everybody, for stimulus money in 2021. A family of 4 might have qualified for up to $5,600, and a single person could qualify for up to $1,400. $1,400 not getting stimulus money for an extra dependent matters. College graduates and high school graduates who don't go on to college and live on their own might be able to also claim the recovery rebate credit if they qualify based on income and other requirements. But someone who was a dependent in 2020 but was no longer dependent in 2021, such as a 2020 graduate, might claim or qualify for the recovery rebate credit and not realize it. As tax day approaches, the IRS is reminding filers about the most common reasons for why it may take longer than expected to get the refunds. Now, the IRS has repeatedly said most federal refunds are issued within 3 weeks for those who file electronically and choose direct deposit. But now the agency is saying that they're stressing that payments may take longer than 21 days, and taxpayers shouldn't rely on getting a refund by a certain date. And the IRS said that one reason is that some returns have errors or need more review and may take longer to process. The IRS is urging filers to double-check their taxes before submitting them, because any issues could delay them being filed. Specifically, delays can happen if the return has errors, is incomplete, or if the filer is affected by identity theft or fraud. It's also possible for a return to get delayed if the 2021 child tax credit or recovery rebate credit are not accounted for. To check the status of your tax refund, you can use the IRS Where's My Refund tool. The online portal becomes available 24 hours after the return is filed electronically. So if you file paper returns or paper forms, the IRS says you should wait up to 4 weeks before checking the online tool.
Well, when it comes to energy policy, common sense is needed, but unfortunately it's not that common here in Washington, D.C. when talking about energy policy. You've heard things like, the laws of supply and demand. Well, not even Joe Biden can repeal the law of supply and demand. Today, there are about 280 million cars on American roads that use gasoline, a petroleum product. And they got to run on something. And while in Texas, where Senator Cruz and I come from, we do believe in an all of the above energy policy. We produce more electricity from wind turbines than any other state in the nation. But each of these has a role to play in our economy. And right now, we're playing what has become a world-class sport here in Washington, D.C., which is called the blame game, without offering any real solutions to the American people. Things like reducing the having a gas tax holiday, so you pay 18 cents less per gallon on your gas. Unfortunately, what they don't tell you is that denies us access to the funds that are necessary to build roads and bridges on which your vehicle can ride. Games like, well, let's release 1 million barrels a day from the strategic petroleum reserves. If you unleash American energy, you can produce roughly 5 million barrels a day from one field out in West Texas called the Permian Basin. 5 million. But Biden tells you to be satisfied. We're really doing something about this by releasing them 1 million a day. And as you've heard before, it's not producing new oil. This is oil that's already been produced and been stored for an emergency. And heaven forbid we would have a real emergency. But this has also become a national security imperative as well. We haven't talked enough about energy security. But you ask Germans, who I visited with on a recent trip to Germany and Poland, and they get it now. They realize they've been seduced into dependency on one source of oil, and that's Russia. And as you've heard,
thank you for putting it in that form of a question. This is really what our responsibility is. When you know that young people established our country, I think even the help from others, Lafayette was like 19 years old or something like that when he came to help us. So it is, the March on Selma was high school students. High school students created that march so that their teachers would have the right to vote. Of course, their parents too, but they knew that if they didn't go to school, see, instead of the teachers striking, the children didn't go to school. So anyway, then they invited Martin Luther King and the rest to come to the march. And they were all young. I mean, John Lewis was like 21 years old. So no, the excitement of it all is that it's your future. You have a responsibility to it. And here's how I compare it. Think of Tiger Woods, 21 years old, coming in, reshaping the way people thought about golf. Think about Steph Curry, young guy coming in.
Yes, I will think about Steph Curry.
And when you see how fresh eyes and new thinking and not complying with any past formula, but just bringing in that fresh approach is so very, very important. So think Tiger, think Steph, think, I mean, like, for example, Steph, he's not that tall, He's tall compared to some of us. But so other people think, I could do that. I can do that. He's not like 6'9", I couldn't do that, right? So, but if you have to other people think that they, too, have their role to play in it all. No, it's very exciting. It's a tremendous opportunity. And the